it's Chrissy and I am back with a fun earring tutorial. So I have these faceted coins and I wanted to make some earrings, some long dangle earrings with them. So over here we have tourmalinated quartz faceted coins, and then here I have some smoky quartz faceted coins. And I think they are just so pretty, very sparkly, and they would make perfect dangly earrings. So here are the finished earrings, or one of them at least. So I did one in gold, and then I did the other in silver. And I added a little gem at the bottom of this one to make it even longer, but to also give you a little variation in design. So this is what we'll be making. So to pull in all the ingredients, for the silver one we do have the tourmalinated quartz faceted coins. I have a 4 millimeter crystal quartz. And then I have some silver 6.0 Toho demi rounds. And then a Miyuki 8.0, and I use that at the very bottom. And then a 5 millimeter jump ring. I have some 20 gauge craft wire for the earring hoops. And then for the smoky quartz, we've got the smoky quartz 10 millimeter coins, and then gold 6.0 Toho demi rounds, and a 1.80 Miyuki seed bead, and then I've got a little gold jump ring, and I made this one out of the 18 gauge gold craft wire, and that is about a 5 millimeter jump ring as well. Okay, let's go ahead and make the silver tourmalinated quartz faceted coin earring. And for this one I went with an ombre look. I took the most tourmalinated quartz at the top, and then I took it down to the middle one with a little less black, and then the bottom I did the least amount of tourmalination there. So I'll do that here. And I'm going to match them up here. So we've got the most tourmalination at the top, and we're going to ombre down to the least. And I'm going to do the same thing for the gold earring. Another ombre effect with the smoky quartz here. And I'm just going to go darkest to lightest. And the tools I'm going to be using are flush cutters, nylon jaw pliers, chain nose pliers, and round nose pliers. And then I also like to use these multi-step bail pliers just for consistency for loops, but you can also achieve the same things with just your round nose pliers. And then for the wire, I use the silver craft wire in 20 and 22 gauge. I like to straighten it out. You can straighten it out with your fingers. You can grab your nylon jaw pliers, straighten it out just a little. Let's see, I'm going to flush cut the end. I'm just going to make sure I catch the end in a little tray here so I can easily corral them and throw all the little bits away. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle piece. And the middle piece of this earring has the two 6/0 Toho demi rounds. And then the faceted coin. And then another demi round. So I'm going to, with not the end, but almost, just slightly up, maybe the same width of the wire. Going to curl it, the wire around, and just make a simple loop here. And because this is 20 gauge wire, I'm going to do simple loops for this project, except for when we get to the dangle where I use 22 and I'll use a wrap loop. So I've got the wire curled around, and I'm just going to put my plier back in, go to slanted slightly down, and just bend it back there and flatten it slightly, and we get a really nice loop there. I'm going to make sure the loop is closed. All right, do one more flattening and work hardening of that end. Okay, we're going to slide all the beads back down the wire towards the loop. All right, and we are again doing that middle section. The reason I'm starting with the middle section is because I want to attach, because I can close these two loops, and then these I will attach the top and the bottom coins to the middle one. Okay, now this side, I'm going to cut off. I'm going to free the middle section from the wire. I'm going to try and go in the same direction, make this next loop the same direction that or orientation that I made the other side. So holding it that way. I'm also going to make sure we are in the same spot so I get about this, or as close to the same size loop. Okay, and then I'm going to start rolling the wire. Down, and then bending it back and rolling it down again to close that loop. And then I'm going to bend it back one more time. Okay, now we have our middle loop. I'm going to just make sure the loop is closed. A little tighten and a little work hardening. Check to make sure they are going the same direction. Yep, that looks good. Now we're going to repeat 2 more times. Let's see, I'm going to go for this bottom coin. So I'm going to first put on my 8/0 demi round and the coin. Then that, I meant 6/0, sorry, 6/0 demi round. I'm going to take the end of that and do the same thing we just did. Create another simple loop. How does that look? Pretty good. Make sure he's nice and flat still. Oh, and then I'm going to, the loop is not quite centered yet, so I'm going to take the end of the loop and center that. Let's see. I'm not going to close it quite yet. Leave it slightly open. Bring down all the beads. Straightening the wire out slightly. Going to cut this end. All right, we're going to release it from the wire, the spool of the wire. Just adjusting the wire, making sure it's as straight as it can be. Okay. So I want to see which way do I want the coin to be oriented. So I think this way, just because there's a little bit more of the black on the top there, and I am looking for that ombre. It probably doesn't matter. And then this one, I think I like the way it looks this way. So I'm going to make my simple loop here. Again, being mindful of the direction here that the simple loop is going. So I want to make the simple loop in the same direction so they're both oriented the same way. I'm going to grab the end of that wire. We're just going to curl it forward. Again, not at the very end of the tip of the round nose pliers, but just a little bit in. And curling it then down. You can see he's good, but he also is very off center. So let's stick the pliers back inside and pull the loop back so that we do get a much nicer shape. And then I'm going to straighten these out. I should get, there we go, taking both ends. All right, so both ends are still, I didn't actually close them, so we do need to do that. I also want to connect them to my middle section. And I am just fiddling with the direction here that I want the coins to sit. I think I like that. So I'm gonna open this loop just a little bit more. I think it's too small to fit around this wire. Now we're going to take this loop and now we are going to close it up. I am going to just do a teeny tiny gentle squeeze here to make sure the loop, the wire is touching the main wire here. Hope that makes sense. Just so there isn't any wiggle room for the wire, for the beads to escape. And now we have the two sections connected. So we can do the top coin same way. Again, we're going to flush cut our wire. Straighten it out. Add on our 6/0 Toho seed beads and our faceted coin. Where'd he go? There he is. All right, I'm going to take, again, my round nose pliers, the end of the wire in a little bit from the end of the pliers themselves. Whoops, curling it around to get that loop. And then we're going to go back inside of the loop. I'm gonna put the, instead of going like this though, I'm gonna go down here towards where they connect. Let's see, get in focus here. So I'm turning the pliers instead of just sticking them in anywhere, putting them in here and then down, so that when I bend the wire, the loop to get it centered, it doesn't open the loop, it just creates this nice curve in the wire. All right, I'm gonna bring the beads down. Again, I'm leaving the end of this loop slightly open, making sure, or just because I know that I haven't actually, I'm gonna have to add something to that end. Okay, I'm going to cut the bead away from the main spool. And then the same direction. In the same direction, wrap the wire around to create our simple loop, and when we get it closed, I'm going to go back in there and with my pliers towards in kind of a diagonal direction and go like that. And you can see it did open the loop quite a bit, so I'm going to go here and close that up. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to make sure the loops are nice and parallel to each other. Okay. Just doing a little inspecting. I'm going to open this loop and attach it. Again, this is going to go towards, well, that's going to go towards the top, so I actually want to open, this bottom one is open. We're going to attach it to the middle section. Maybe needs to be open a little bit more. There we go. Okay. All right, now we're going to close the loop. I'm going to, at this point, give it a little squish and make sure that it is nice and closed so we don't lose any beads. Straighten my loop and my wire out. Okay, let's see. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm going to attach a French wire hook to the top, so I'm going to close this because I'm going to attach it when I create the earring wire. So go ahead and I'm going to give the top loop just a little baby squeeze gently so I don't ruin my wire, or my simple wire loop. Okay. Okay, I think that looks really good. We are going from darker to lighter. Okay, well, you can stop here, or we can add, you can continue on and add more length. And so I did that by just adding this little 4mm crystal quartz round bead at the bottom. And I did do a wire wrap on here. Okay, and because I did a wire wrapped loop, I'm gonna go down and gauge to slightly smaller wire so it's easier. and also I can get prettier loops. Let's see, how many loops did I do? One, it looks like I did 3. So I'm straightening out the 22 gauge wire. And for this one, we're gonna go with, let's see, I'm going to flush cut the end. I think I want to, I'm going to start with the 8/0 seed bead. Excuse me. I'm going to go with the crystal quartz bead next, the 4mm. And then I'm going to push these down and I'm going to wire wrap. I think I am just going to open this loop up and add it so that I can not wire wrap onto that loop. So I'm going to push the wire away from me, turn the pliers so that they are now sitting in that groove we just made. Now I'm going to pull the wire towards me and around. Whoops. Now you can see, we can also straighten out that the loop on the wire. Okay. Now I'm going to shift over, and I do like the way that loop looks. I'm going to grab it with my chain nose pliers, and now I'm going to wire wrap this. I'm going to give it, go around 3 times. 1, 2, so there's the front. I actually did 4. So 4 loops here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to end our wire wrap on the back side. So the wire is going to be trimmed there from the back. With 4 loops. And then I'm going to just press the end down, smooth, flush against the rest of the wire. And I'm also going to tighten the loops up. Make sure there's no pokey bits there. Okay. Now we're going to slide down our 2 little beads. And now what I'm going to do is make the teeny tiny little head pin. So I'm going to give it a cut about, let's see, about there. Oops, there we go. And this one's super easy. All I do is take the end of the wire, fold it in half. And it's a little too long, so I'm going to trim it a little more. Because I want it to match the other earring as much as possible. So I'm going to straighten it out and then take the end again. Pretty. Just a little bit more off, I think. Okay. And you take the end of the wire and you bend it in half. Whoops. Take the end, bend it up, and then you're just going to be folding it in half. Straightening it out, and then we have this little bead dangle. All right. Now time to attach. Okay, so this is the back side of the bead. Doesn't really matter, they will be spinning. So I'm just gonna make sure we're straight. Gonna open the dangle, open the simple loop. Okay, attach my little dangle there. Close up the simple loop. I'm going to give it a little squeeze to make sure that the loop is closed. Okay, make sure our wires are going the same direction. And almost done. We need to do the earring wire. So for the earring wire, you can use 20 gauge or 22 gauge, or if you have 21, that might be ideal. And you're going to cut 1 3/4 inches length of the wire, and you're going to flush cut both sides. You'll want to do 2 because you have 2 ears, or maybe you just want to do 1. That's cool too. So you're going to do, maybe make them in pairs, and then you can use, I'm going to use my 6-step bail maker, and I'm going to use the smallest step and then the second largest. So this is a 2 millimeter. I'm going to create a loop at the very end here. That's what that looks like. Then I'm going to take it and face the loop, the opening of the loop, away from the barrel that I want to use, which is this guy, and he's 7 millimeters. So I'm going to get it as close inside of that jaw as possible. And I'm going to have it nice and flush up against the end there. And all I'm going to do is take the wire and push it 2/3 of the way around, not all the way. And then I'm going to take it off of the barrel. And I'm going to just do some flattening here, make sure it's nice and straight. That's what we have now. And I'm going to go to the end of the other end of the wire, and I'm going to just go up slightly from the bottom of the chain nose pliers, and I'm going to give it just a little, maybe this is a better angle, just going to make a teeny tiny bend. And there you go. And then I'm going to attach it to our earring. Okay, I'm going to just make sure that the loop is closed, the jump ring is closed, and there isn't any sharp edges there. What you'll want to do for the end of your earring wire is to use an emery board or some type of sandpaper, or if you have one of those automatic things to smooth out any rough spots, because of the where we cut it, it does create a little bit of a pokey bit. But there are the earrings. I think they're so pretty. Again, they're a really nice long dangly earring. Super elegant, super sparkly, but very light, very lightweight. Okay, we'll be right back and I'll show you the finished smoky topaz earring. And we're back. Here are the finished earrings. Silver and gold, ombre, faceted, coin, 10mm earrings. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are going to be a lot of fun to wear. I hope you guys try something like this or use different shapes. Maybe try some ombre dangle earrings. All right, until next time, thank you. Bye.